Hi and welcome to A World of Words. I'm Vanessa and today I'm doing the Pass It On tag. I was tagged to do this by Joe Linsdale and thank you so much for tagging me. This is a really fun and really simple tag where you basically just recommend 3 books and then you tag some more people and they recommend 3 books. You can watch all the tags and get lots of book recommendations. So that's really awesome. I don't know who created this tag and so I will link them below. Yeah, I'm just gonna get started with my recommendations. So I was trying to decide if I wanted to recommend some of my favorite books that I just talk about all the time, but I thought that might get a little repetitive, so I'm going to link in the cards my all-time favorite book series video because I talked about all of my favorite book series of all time in that video, so if you want a whole bunch more recommendations you can just click that. But I'm going to recommend some different books that aren't necessarily my all-time favorites but that I really enjoyed and that I don't really talk about that much and that I enjoyed for various different reasons that all have to do with magic and fantasy, because that's what I love. So I'm going to recommend 3 books or series that are kind of different-ish, I want to say, of both from each other and from other things that I generally see a lot. So I'm just going to get started because I always ramble too much in the intro. And the first one is one I do not own, and that is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Curry. This is an Aladdin retelling that is from the perspective of the genie, but the genie is a teenage girl and she ends up falling in love with Aladdin. But genies aren't allowed to fall in love with humans, so there's kind of some drama there. And there's also a rebellion and other stuff happening in it. And it was really good. I recommend this book mainly because the magic in it was just so interesting. And also the story was really well done, the way everything wove together. It connected things you wouldn't even think needed to be connected, and it was done so well. It was just so much fun to read. The descriptions were really great. Main character, the genie, she could shapeshift, and all of the descriptions of her as the different animals she shifted into were really interesting because sometimes, she would have different numbers of legs, and so then she would a bird, and she was a spider, and all of these different things. And also the genie's magic was described. It was very physical. You could basically see the things she was creating, and it was just really interesting. I definitely recommend this book. It was so much fun to read, and it was really well written, and it was just really good. Next, I recommend the Ruby Red Trilogy by Kirsten Gier. I know this was popular a few years ago on Booktube. I think it was making the rounds and it was super well known then, but I feel a lot more people have joined the bookish community in the last few years, so they might have actually missed out on hearing about this book. So I figured I may as well wave it around some more and give it more love. This is a trilogy about a teenage girl in London who she's always known that her family is involved in this situation that involves time travelers. There's her family and then a couple other families are all in this organization thing, and some of them can time travel and other of them are trying to control the time travel, and it's kind of complicated, but it's very, very good, and the main character in this is so relatable and she's so much fun to read from. She's always referencing TV shows and movies and things like that, and it's really entertaining. This is a very light, fun series, but it also involves time travel, and the way the time travel is done is very interesting. And I forgot to tell you that my character thought that she would not be one of the time travelers, but it turns out through some mishaps she is actually one of the time travelers. So she gets swept up and involved in all of this wacky craziness. Basically the way the time travel is done is really well thought out, because in the beginnings of the series she would randomly jump to different times and see things happen, and then later on those scenes are explained, and it's all woven together very, very nicely, and and nobody will tell her anything, so her and her best friend basically just investigate and like spy on people and try and find out the information for themselves because everyone's being a jerk and trying to hide everything from her. Even though she's the one in danger, they're all like, no, we're not telling you anything. So I really recommend this series too. I will just say that the ending of the series is it's not necessarily disappointing, but it's not quite as big as I thought it would be. I didn't predict the ending twist, but I was in the, like, what I was predicting was like in the realm of what happened basically, if that makes any sense. I wouldn't expect like the most mind-blowing ending ever, but it's a really fun series. I feel like time travel. You'll probably enjoy this series. And the last one I want to recommend is Furthermore by Tahera Mafi. This is a middle grade book. So well done. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be an Alice in Wonderland retelling, but it feels a little bit like one. Because the main character's name is Alice, and there are two magical worlds in this. There's the magical world that Alice is born in, and that she lives in, and then there is another more dangerous magical world, which is the one called Furthermore, the title of the book, which is where she travels to and has an adventure. World is like kind of wacky and like anything can happen, anything can happen kind of world that just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, the way it is written is so whimsical. Whimsical is just the word to describe this book. The magic, and it's described in such an interesting way. You have to read it to understand exactly what I'm talking about. The descriptions were really, really creative and really unique. And like the way the magic described, you could like feel it, and like colors were described as like flavors, and like it's really crazy but really, really fun and really interesting. Like, I wonder how long she took on each sentence in this book, because each sentence is just so unique and interesting. Just now from a writing's perspective, it's really interesting to read. And it's also a really fun story. I will say that the story wrapped itself up a little bit on the fast side, like once we got to the end. It ended pretty fast, and it's so well written and so unique that I feel like anyone could enjoy it. And so if you like magic or fantasy of any kind, you'll probably enjoy this just for the fun descriptions alone. And it's also a really cute and really fun story. So that is it for the Pass It On tag. Again, thank you so much, Joe, for tagging me. And I don't really know who to tag because I don't know who would want to do this tag. I will think about it, and I will leave everybody who I tag in the description below. So please check out the description to see if you've been tagged. If you want to do this tag, you can consider yourself tagged by me. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I upload new videos on Mondays, plus the occasional surprise video, so please subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye!